99.7 FM.
Tonight, sweeping reforms in the NDC as the party directs all members occupying government offices, including ministers, CEOs and MDs of state institutions who want to contest any party position to resign 6 months clear to the 2026 internal elections.
Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. Reducing the level of greed. You understand? You're alone, one man no chop. What's your problem? What's your problem? In this situation where you are trying to be one leg here, one leg there.
We'll give you details of the full election timetable as the NDC sets December 19 for its national executive elections.
For the Youth and the Women Conference, we are looking at Saturday, the 12th December 2026. The final one, which will be the main Congress to elect all of the national executives of the NDC in this very important year of our reorganization. That Congress will happen on Saturday, the 19th December 2026.
Stay for a breakdown of the party's internal election roadmap plus analysis in the next 30 minutes here on Top Story. Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. My name is Fostina Sarfo. Please stay for details. Thanks for choosing us. Tonight, the National Democratic Congress is shaking things up. The party has directed all members eyeing party positions to resign from government appointments. According to the General Secretary Fiifi Kwetey, this move forms part of a major reorganization and rebuilding exercise across all levels of the party. Ministers, deputies, CEOs and MDs of state institutions are expected to step down by mid-year. Let's listen to Fiifi Kwetey address a news conference earlier today at the party headquarters a while ago.
Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. I take that again. Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. 2, chairpersons or members of boards or persons in analogous positions are exempt from this restriction. Why? Because they are not full-time employees. So those who are full-time employees are affected, and the following are those who are affected. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A, ministers and deputy ministers; B, chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies or analogous officers; C, metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives. So those are the 3 main categories that we mentioned. I take them again. The affected officers under paragraph 1 include, they are not limited to: A, ministers and deputy ministers; B, chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies or analogous officers. C, metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. Now, the official guidelines for the elections will from today be made public. So all of you will be able to have access to it. Now, for the avoidance of doubt and for absolute clarity, those intending to contest at the constituency level who fall in the category I just mentioned, the three categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026. These provisions are firm, constitutional, and we enforce without exception. So please don't even bother to come and see whether you can plead to be exempted, because there's no plea in this matter.
Well, my colleague James Aveji was at that news conference. He joins me in the studio with more. James, this is a big announcement coming from the party. We'll delve into the details of the full election timetable shortly, but I'm interested really in who exactly will be affected by this directive just coming in.
Well, firstly, so a number of the party executives would be affected, except from the numbers or the various persons we have tracked down so far, except one, which is the national chairman of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who is currently a board member of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. He will not be affected by this particular directive. But if you take persons like the National Communications Officer of the party, Sami Jemfi, who is currently serving as CEO of Goldbolt, he would be affected by this particular directive. And so if he is interested, he needs to resign by June of this year. Malik Basintali, who is the National Communications, also a Deputy National Communications Officer to Sami Jemfi, is currently serving as CEO of the YEA, and he is also expected to resign if he wants to contest for his position or any other position in the party. George Opariado, who is the National Youth Organizer of the party, is now the Minister for Youth. And he's also expected, youth development is also expected to resign if he wants to contest in this election. Osman Ayariga, who is the National Youth Authority boss, currently the Deputy National Youth Organizer to George Opariado, would also resign if he wants to contest in this election. Then the National Women's Organizer of the party, Dr. Hannah Bisiu, would also resign as administrator of the Minerals Development Fund if she wants to contest in this election. Last but not least is Ruth Della Sedo. He is the Director General of the National Sports Authority, currently serving as the Deputy National Youth Women's Organizer of the party. And so we have as much as 6-7 people who must resign from various positions if they want to contest in this particular election, except Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who is the national chairman of the party.
But apart from what we heard Fiifi say during the news conference, what other reason did they give for this directive?
I'm sure yourself, you are conversant with, talks in the party about how some of these persons are chopping, quote unquote, from left and right, 2 hands deep, when others are yet to get any appointment in the party. According to the General Secretary Fiifi Kwetey, this move is not only to strengthen the party and strengthen party work, but to also curtail some of these incidents where some of these appointees are eating left and right while others are sitting at home without any form of appointment.
Any person seeking to contest for a party position who currently holds an office, NDC has so many people. Our numbers are massive, millions of supporters. We have so many people capable of holding positions. It cannot be the situation where only 1 or 2 individuals are capable of holding both an appointed position in government and also a position at the level of the party. It just cannot be. God forbid, if any of us drop dead today, NDC has got so many more people who can hold our position and do an excellent job, if not even better job. So we must have the same principle at all moments. I think it's simply an issue of reducing the level of greed. You understand? You're alone, one man no chop. What's your problem? What's your problem? You know? So if you want to work for the party, you leave your position in government and come and contest and win. Then we know you are fully dedicated. But this situation where you are trying to be one leg here, one leg there, even you notice, even constitutional review is even bringing a provision that even if you are a member of parliament, it's no more going to be permitted once it's approved for you to be both in parliament and in government at the same time. Why? You alone, why? So it's the same kind of principle. You want to work for the party, resign from whatever position you are, 6 months to term, and come and dedicate yourself and work for the party. The work for the party is a great work. Some of us, that's all we're doing. We are not in government, we are not holding in that position, fully dedicated to the party because that's a great job to be done. So if you feel that's a great job, join us and let's do that fully in order to help the country.
G still with me in the studio, and let's talk about the election schedule. What's the roadmap?
Well, Fostina, so before that, with regards to the resignations, there are timelines for the resignation. For instance, if you want to contest in the constituency elections, you are expected to resign by May 2026. If you want to contest in the regional election, you should be resigning. For constituency, you are expected to resign by April this year. For region, you are expected to resign by May this year. And then for the national elections, you are supposed to resign by June this year. Now, there are some key activities the party will be going through. First is the registration of new members of the party, and that is happening between the 10th of February to the 30th of March 2025, and this is happening at the branch levels of the party only. So that is the schedule for that. Then we go to the constituency elections. As far as the constituency election is concerned, opening of nominations will happen between 15th to 17th September 2026, and all of these activities, including the completion of forms, filing of nomination, vetting, appeals, would happen between then and the 24th and 25th of October 2026. So that is when the elections would happen, 24th and 25th of October 2026. If you go to the regional level, nominations will be open between 6th and 7th of October 2026. They will go through completion of forms, filing, vetting, appeals. Then the elections are in two parts. The first part is the youth and women organizer position elections, which will happen on the 13th of November 2026. Then the rest or the entire election would happen on the 14th and 15th of November 2026. The last one is the national executive election. Nominations will be opened on the 20th to 21st of October 2026. They would also go through the completion of forms, filing of forms. 14 days will be given for forms to be completed because they have to go around the country to seek for endorsement from various levels of the party. Filing will happen on 7th to 9th of November 2026. Vetting will happen on 12th to 13th of November 2026. Appeals will happen 15th and 16th of November. The Youth and Women Conference will happen on 12th December 2026. And then the National Congress will happen on the 19th of December 2026. So the Youth and Women Wing elections are separated from the rest of the elections. And by 19th of December 2026, all elections should be completed as far as the branch level constituency as well as the national, region and national elections of the party are concerned, Fostina.
And there's also a directive to all constituency executives. What did they say?
Exactly. So the party general secretary identified what he called mafia tactics by some constituency executives, especially in order to skew the process in their favor to get themselves elected. So what they normally do is to conceal the process under darkness, and will not get party members involved along the line. The directive to all of them is to make this transparent as possible by announcing every single date and venue of every meeting and party activity as far as the elections at the constituency level are concerned.
Under no circumstances should the membership number of a deceased member be transferred or swapped for a new registrant. I want to take that again. Under no circumstances should the membership number of a deceased member be transferred or swapped for a new registrant. Any branch found to have violated this directive will face the severest sanctions prescribed under the constitution of the party. The integrity of our register is non-negotiable. So if you feel the only way you can survive is to use mafia means, advise yourself and step aside. We don't want people who have no capacity to run correctly, run legitimately to win, to be part of our processes. So if the only way you can survive is mafia, maybe you look for the MPP. That's where the mafia things happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Thanks for staying with us here on Top Story. Let me bring in Mustapha Gbande. He's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. I also have with me Alhaji Haruna Mohammed, his Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, and as well Dr. Amakye Boateng. He's a political scientist at KNUST. He joins the conversation as well. I'll start with Mustapha Gbande. I'd like to clarify, first of all, has this decision been approved by the entire party, specifically the full membership of NEC?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our cherished listeners. Our decisions and point of corrections are not approved by the entire party. We have colleges and caucuses at the levels of the party that approves our decisions. For this decision, it's prepared by FEC and then taken to NEC. So FEC is the Functional Executive Committee of the party, made up of national officers and then selected members from parliament and other representative groups. Then NEC is made up of regional reps who comes together for these decisions. So this particular one, which is the regulation of our reorganization 2026, was taken to NEC. It was deliberated upon and approved as a working document. And it's not a novelty. This is what we have been doing. The conventions will tell you that this is how we run our party.
Did every member of SEC and NEC approve these new guidelines that you put out today?
You do not need every member of SEC and NEC to agree with a decision in order for it to stand on an organization. You need a majority decision, and these documents or these roadmap have adequately gotten the decision of NEC.
So there were some members of the committee that disagreed with this.
It is not a committee. It's a meeting. And like I said, you do not need all manner of persons' endorsement of a decision in order for that decision to be approved. What you need is, at most, a majority decision at the point of tabling this matter for discussion.
So what you're telling me is that, indeed, there are members of the National Executive Committee who disagreed with this approval that you've put out today.
I may disagree with it, but it is not about me. It's about the body called NDC and our constitution mandating NEC to take steering decisions of the party, decisions that borders on the welfare of the party. And so that body met in Accra, consisting of FEC members, members of parliament on NEC, and then reps from every region, that is chairman, secretary, organizer, youth organizer, women organizer, Zongo caucus. They came together to constitute NEC. And so this decision was approved by NEC. If a member disagrees, that member is entitled to his right of opinion. But as long as it has the backing of majority of members present within the meeting at the time the table of discussion was put. I think that is a valid decision.
But given your role in the presidency, you could be affected. And so we're quite interested in their response. Did you get the full backing of every individual? Especially, did you even consult your members who currently hold government positions?
If I have to give way for the party to grow and be stronger, I have to exit. Number two, the decision was not taken as a punishment to members or to deny members the opportunity to enjoy double privileges. The contemplation of these decisions is to strengthen our party and also ensure that the workforce within the party who are currently supporting the president in discharging his mandate continue to do so with all the time that is required, so that other badges of people who are on standby, those are called Team B or Team C or Team D, they can also roll themselves into positions of the party, and to ensure that the party is also functioning properly, so that we don't have a weaker party as opposed to a stronger government, or a stronger government and a weaker party.
You just tell us. You tell us that indeed there are some individuals who disagreed, even though they were not the majority. How do you plan to ensure internally that this does not even create deep-seated grievances within the ruling party?
No, like I tell you, we don't run a party with ultimate, agreement with all manner of persons. But if the decision is born out of good faith and the good interest of executing the objectives of the political party called the NDC, our members understand that we will take decisions in the interest of the growth and stability of our party. We'll take decisions in the interest of the members of the party who have mandated us to be officers of the party. And so they know, understand these things. And I don't think we'll get to the point where would see grievances and all sort of things. It doesn't mean that people may not have some sort of misgivings about party decisions. It will affect one person or the other, but it has to be implemented to the latter, because it's a decision that will strengthen our party. It's a decision that will strengthen, that will ensure that our party is strong, and so it's a good decision.
So will you even step down from your position that you hold in government?
I'm not in that category of persons who was captured by this decision. But if it has to affect me, I would then make a choice whether I want to remain as an aide or an officer of the presidency, or I have to be an officer of the party.
But we heard from Fiifi today that only those 7 on boards, which are not like full-time jobs, that are exempted from this. So it means you may likely be affected.
It cannot be about me. These conversations is about asking you and telling you and our cherished listeners that the NDC have launched its guideline for 2026 reorganization, and as such will be required that all members will follow suit and follow the procedures that we have outlined as far as the reorganization process is concerned. That mechanism has a room to address grievances, to address all party members as we go along.
Stay with me, Mustapha. Let me bring in Dr. Amakye Boateng. He's a political scientist at KNUST. He joins the conversation now. We appreciate your time here on Top Story. I'm wondering, could this decision even create tension or grievances within the NDC?
Thanks for having me. Let me say good evening to your listeners. Listening to Mr. Mustapha Gbande, I could see that what I call normal processes of politics took place. You are never going to have 100% support for any policies coming out of political parties. And political scientists agree that if you have 70 to 75% support, you are ready to go. So given that understanding, I like to believe that the majority that he's talking about was indeed that type of majority, 70, 75%, 80%. Once you have that majority, you are ready to go. Even if the dissenting view become bitter, the numbers tend not to be significant enough to affect the way the party should be run.
And what strategies can the NDC even adopt to maintain cohesion within the party?
It is to ensure that, in the first place, these rules and regulations that they are outlining are such that they don't necessarily, if you like, protect some people. They don't come out in a way to disaffect some people. They don't stand against their interests. Everybody in a political party has some interest. And so if a party doesn't come out with rules and regulations that sort of block, stand in the way of other people realizing their interest in the party is free to go. I like to believe that the rules are that free and they are not necessarily targeted at anybody, that they are targeted at making the party stronger at all times. That you can't abuse your office incumbency advantage in times of elections, so you could take advantage of that. I think they are strengthening things to make sure that you if you come up for any position, you know why you are doing that, and when the time comes for you to step aside to contest again, then you know that it is a fair principle. It works fairly for everybody. I think this is what will hold the party together, and a strict implementation or application of these rules.
Okay, let me bring in Haruna Mohammed, his Deputy General Secretary for the NPP. We appreciate your time. Now, your biggest competitor, they're using the bottom-up approach. And is this something that would be of concern to you internally, especially because you are using the top-bottom approach?
Thank you very much. Firstly, I say good evening to your cherished listeners and those of your followers on social media. And good evening to my colleague Mustapha Gbande and the lecturer who has just spoken from KNUST. I don't know which of the bottoms we are talking about. Our party has not adopted any top-bottom approach or bottom-up approach.
But then you're electing your flag bearer first, even before you do your constituency and national executives election. And so that's a top-bottom approach, but they are taking it from the bottom-top approach. They are electing the executives before.
That is your approach. There is nothing like top-bottom approach from our party. So that is why I'm going to clarify that point to you. The election of the
Are you threatened by this approach? Briefly.
It's your approach. We have not, as a political party, done what you have called top-bottom down approach. We don't have such an approach. And we don't have a bottom-up approach. I am telling you that the election of the flag bearer is a stand-alone election in the structure of the New Patriotic Party. And that is why it's contained in Article 13 of the party's constitution. The structure of the party is situated in Article 5, where we have the various structures that have been put in. So the election of the flag bearer is a stand-alone, and that is why there are 8 conditions in the statutes of the New Patriotic Party as to when such elections are being done. So it should not be misconstrued to indicate that we are starting from the top to come to down. There is nothing like that in our party, and we have not adopted.
So is this how yours will also, the approach the NDC is taking, where executives will have to resign? Is that the approach you will take?
I think their call is too late. If you remember, in Legon, on the 19th of July, we did a constitutional amendment. In that particular amendment, we clearly indicated that all persons who are holding party positions who are appointed into government must resign. And we inked this into the constitution on that particular day. But we have so implemented that even once we're in government, the General Secretary today was a CEO. After winning as a General Secretary, he was made to resign. The national organizer today was youth organizer. When he was a deputy executive director of NSS, when he won his elections, he was made to resign. There are a host of others I can keep on to count, because we have to separate the role of the party leader and the role of person who is performing in government.
Okay.
So it is too late in the day, but we applaud them for instituting that. But what I would call the NDC
briefly,
is that
30 seconds.
They should ask Mustapha Gbande to resign as Deputy Director of Operations. They should ask the women organizer to resign from MIF and then stay as no organizer or stay in that particular position. They should ask Semi Demke to resign. They should hold one position. so that they can be accountable to the good people of Ghana.
Okay.
These are the key points that we want them to do. They should be bold enough as they have come out to say this, and we applaud them, but they should inch further to be able to bring accountability to the good people of Ghana.
Okay, let me wrap up with Mustapha Gbande, 30 seconds. Now, we just heard from Haruna Mohammed. They are impressing upon you to resign. Is this something you consider?
Well, the MPP would not be our yardstick as far as managing our party is concerned. And impressing upon me to resign or just, underscores the fact that they are scared of me. The MPP is uncomfortable with the name Gbande Mustapha, so they will do everything possible. But to their surprise, their call will fall in water because I am not affected by that decision. If I am affected, I will resign. I will, if I have to resign, or I will be in government. Wherever I will be, the MPP will not see peace in this country, as far as I'm concerned. So whichever way it is, they shouldn't focus on me. But the beauty of it is that we have demonstrated democratization of our party.
Okay.
We have demonstrated will. We have demonstrated capacity and authority. Currently, they have imported a strange way of organizing their party. We are looking at how it will end.
Okay, thank you so much, Mustapha Gbande. He's Deputy General Secretary for the NDC. I've also engaged Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the MPP, as well as Dr. Amakye Boateng, Political Scientist at KNUST. My name is Fostina Sarfo. Up next is Newsnight.